Hey, yo, you're not going to believe this one right here. A crazy conversation between Candace Owens and Jason Lee. Man, what are your thoughts? Let's get into it.
Back to this. Don't you think that there's people that would say that about us as black people? That there was a time where we weren't sitting at the same counters, we weren't using the same bathrooms, we weren't able to go in the same doors, we didn't have the same rights, we were seen as less than human. I think
it's not about less than human. I just don't think they exist. Like you
know what I'm saying in terms of black people.
Well, you're talking about right now. You're conflating being black, which is like obviously you're born black. You know what I mean? That's not something that I have to basically try to convince you that like no, this is real. This person, look at the color of his skin. It's like yeah, obviously we have different races. Here, obviously this person is black. On the trans stuff, you're asking me to be crazy. You're asking me to look at a grown man and imagine that he's actually a woman, and that if he goes and gets work done, that he magically becomes a woman. So it's insanity. And I definitely let's not conflate it with being black. Otherwise, you'd have to defend Rachel Dolezal.
Well, there's no there's no defending crazy. That's crazy. But
why is that crazy?
Hold on. Because she was a white woman that said she was black.
Yeah, that's a man saying.
But let's back up. I don't think that anybody grows up wanting to be discriminated against, wanting to have feelings, or wanting to have identity where they know they're going to bring that type of adverse reaction. Do you think gay people grow up gay or are born gay, or that's an evolution?
Genuinely, I just am trying to get you pinned down here on how you can say that, but not acknowledge Rachel Dolezal. If we're talking about the trans issue, she's transracial. So give her respect. Put respect in her name.
Explain to me how.
Because on the inside she felt black. She was dressing like she was black. She was making her skin darker like she was black. She was standing for the black cause. She was working for the NAACP. It just happened to be that she was, born a white girl with blonde hair and freckles. And it only became problematic when somebody exposed it. And people said, no, you can't just be black. Why not? If you're gonna say that a man can just be a woman, why can't Rachel Dolezal just be black? You got to be consistent.
Because she's white.
Okay, because it's a man.
No, but hold on. I get it.
I'm right.
I get it.
I'm right.
No, I don't agree.
Yo, what the? Did y'all just hear what Jason Lee said? Is anybody listening to this interview like I am? It's sped up a little bit. She got it sped up a little bit. Shout out to Thyroidectomy Diaries on TikTok for the footage. But did y'all just hear what Jason Lee said? Or am I tripping? I'm going to get my thoughts at the end.
And this is not a matter of right or wrong.
But it is.
Hold on.
This one is.
Let me tell you. Two truths. One thing can be true, right? Or two things can be true. You can put a lipstick on a pig and it can still be a pig. You can call it whatever you want. Yeah. You can call it bacon. You can call it a side meal. It's still a pig. So I'm not saying right or wrong. And we're too early into the conversation to get into who's right or wrong because there's a lot to get into. But it's a matter of perception, a matter of experience. Like I can't tell you what it's like to be a black woman. You can't tell me what it's like to be a black man. You can't tell me how it's supposed to be biracial. You can't tell me how it feels to be gay. I can tell you how it feels to be straight. Because we all have our own lived experiences. I guess what I'm trying to unpack is why you believe the transsexuals experience is not one that deserves to be validated.
Yeah, and I'm similarly trying to unpack why you don't believe Rachel Dolezal's lived experience is one that should.
No, I do. I understand, and that's the conflation where you're trying to unpack one topic by putting up another. But we can't ask why a rhinoceros isn't an elephant. Huh? We're talking about an elephant, and the elephant in the room is that you have a skewed perception, in my opinion, about a transsexual's experience. And I'm simply asking, why do you feel like it doesn't deserve to be validated if that's how the person feels? Because you know what you guys do, and I'm gonna say you guys that have strong opinions.
I just have one person sitting here.
Strong opinions. No, it's people that you represent because you have very strong opinions. And what happens when it comes to the LGBT community is you'll conflate pedophilia by using children and gay, which are two different things.
I'm not conflating here. Your argument is that if someone who is not clearly being born with a penis, let's for example, decides that in their lived experience, actually no, they should have had a vagina, and so they're going to start living like they have a vagina and getting cosmetic procedures like they have a vagina, that suddenly I should respect that. I'm saying, okay, keep it consistent and say the exact same thing about Rachel Dolezal. You hesitate there. For some reason, you don't want to do that. And so, exactly. So you have to keep it ideologically consistent. That's all I'm saying. But I'm saying to you, I'm consistent. Rachel is not a black woman. And a trans person can't just wake up one day and decide to be a woman. A man can't wake up one day and decide to be a woman because of lived experience. I'm sorry that I'm consistent, but you have to figure out why you're not.
No, Michael Jackson would be a better explanation because he was actually born your color and died a little lighter than me. So that's different.
Michael Jackson died a black man.
No, of course, I agree with that. That's what I'm saying. The difference, though, in terms of Rachel Dolezal, she's a white woman that decided that she was going to be black one day.
Going to kill you.
Wait, no, they're not.
Yes, they are, because I'm making a lot of sense.
Let me say this. I think people are going to watch this and go, I understand where she's coming from, and they're going to watch this and go, I understand where she's coming from, because they will. It's not an exchange of who's right or wrong.
Yeah. No, but there's just ideological consistency. So that's my thing. If you can't make it make ideological sense.
Come on. Yo, I want to speak in fair use for critiquing, criticizing, and educational purposes, all that. But yo, I got to get into this really quick. Just hear me out. Much respect to anybody and everybody that wants to live the life that they want to live. I take nothing from that. Live your life. But the conversation that they just had, if you don't see the crazy in that conversation, something is wrong For real. I mean, we can debate, hit the comment section. We could debate about the situation or whatever, but she clearly made her point, but he couldn't accept her logic. I don't see where, I mean, am I tripping? Let me know, because the point that he was making versus the point that she made, to me, was the same. It was just you using one scale of a person being a trans versus a person believing in racism. Jason Lee said, okay, this woman was Caucasian. She was white. Woke up, wanted to be black, wanted to feel black, wanted to do all of this, but she wasn't. Now, Candace Owens, on the other hand, was saying, okay, well, this dude woke up. All of a sudden today, now he's a man. He feels like a woman, lives like a woman, starts to get the procedure to live life like a woman. Don't make him a woman. I don't see where the difference is. I'm quite sure some people go say, well, you can't use one term in a sense, but look at the logic of the term and try to understand what's going on with that conversation. Because that conversation, to me, I feel like you are in denial just because you are accustomed to that life. You might not live it fully, Jason, but you're accustomed to it because, of course, you're gay. So I'm just trying to get a clear understanding. Let me know in the comment section, am I off? Because it just makes sense, the point that Candace made. What's the difference in what she was saying as far as this white lady feeling black, living black, doing all the procedures to turn black? Where's the difference in this man feeling like a man, feeling like a woman, living life like a woman, and all the above, and wants to go through the procedures to become a woman and live his full life as a woman? Where's the difference? I just didn't see where Jason, he delusional to me. But y'all let me know. Leave it in the comment section, man. Let's talk about it. Is Candace Owens in the right, or is Jason Lee in the right? My thoughts on it, Jason is delusional on this situation. You know what I mean? But let's talk about it. This is the KMHP TV YouTube channel, and I just reacted to Candace Owens and Jason Lee talking about trans men should be, what did he say? They should have a just due. I think they already do. Let's talk about it. It's your boy Kaotic 1. Peace.